Well, hello everyone. I just want to cover some of the newest developments on the Flip program. And one of the things I want to just impress upon you is how important acting quickly is into leading to your success in getting and acquiring Flip properties. So I had written this brief article and posted it on Basecamp for the Buyer's Agent program. And I just want to point out, and I'll touch on this a little bit more, and I'll cover this in our instructor-led training, which is tomorrow. And one of the things I just want to point out is that that a majority of the properties are gone within about 25 days. And so 56% of all successful flips had been acquired within a 25-day period. And of that, when you consider that how many of those are selling in 2 days, 42%, nearly 42% are gone within 2 days. And so you lose over half of the properties just within the first month, and nearly 42% of that within the first 2 days. And for you to get access to the best properties, you have to be quick. So I wrote some things down that I would like you just to take notice of, and I'll cover this as well. But one of the things I'll touch on how to do this is, number one, have your searches in auto emails so you can get daily updates. I'm going to teach you how to do this. We're going to have systems and tools that will do all of this automated, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and make transactions happen today. And I'm going to cover this. I'll cover the rest of it in our training. But what's important to understand is that it's really important to have auto emails being delivered to you, because every time you do a search, you're probably already too late coming into the game, unless you get really lucky. And so otherwise, you want to be know about it right away and have technology work in your favor. Let me go over the histogram real quickly just so you understand. And this is something that you're welcome to print out or share with your clients. And how you read this, it's saying that these on this axis here, it's time periods, and how long it's been on the market. So this is from 0 to day 1. And so in under 2 days, 41.9% of all homes were sold. And so again, this is for flips for 2014. So this is historical data. It's just what it is. It's the facts. So by the 25th day, another 14.5% were sold. And that's where you get the majority in this time period here. So you can go and continue to add up, and you see it drops down really quickly. A lot of these are short sales that take a long time, and so that's why we talk about the strategy on how to work with short sales as well. And there's good deals here as well. But in the meantime, you want to get your fair share of the quick closings in this area. So it's really important that you understand that and your client understands that, which sets them up for a lot of things. For example, having all the documentation correct, having them doing the digital signatures, them working with you, because a lot of people, let's say they have some experience, feel that I can get this information perhaps from another source or elsewhere. It's not just about information. It's really about a method too. About I'm going to help you acquire and secure these properties. And so all of that matters and comes into really your value proposition. So having said that, an important tool that we recently published is this cheat sheet. You can get this on Basecamp, and this cheat sheet will give you all the parameters for your quick and dirty searches. And so you're going to look at your cheat sheet and you're going to pick a city. In this case, let me pick Northridge. I'm going to pick Northridge right here, and I'm going to plug in this data. So here's the city. The next column is the max price point I'm going to search for, and this is the max price per square foot, 238. Then I jump into the MLS. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to go ahead and do a search. I'm going to say active, single family. I'm going to pick the city of Northridge. And for my max price, I'm going to go back to my cheat sheet, and you can see it says 230 right here. And I'll put 230. I'm sorry, excuse me for that. I said 530. So 530. And a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to do it in this style. So I'm saying 530,000 and less. I have 15 matches. And then I'm going to scroll down to the price per square foot. We talked about adding that already, so you should have that done. And back in Northridge, you can see it's 238. So I'm going to say 238 and less. Another way you can do that is you can type 0 to 238, whatever works for you. And I have 0 matches here. Okay, that's what I have to work with, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and take for now. So I'm going to say results, and since I have no properties, I'm going to click save, and I'm going to go new auto email. the contact should be to yourself, so I'm going to send it to myself. I'm going to say on the subject line, I'm going to type flip, and I want it to stand out like this, Northridge. And you can put any parameters in here that you'd want. The criteria that I like to put is scheduled as soon as possible, and I save it. Now it's going to go ahead and create this web portal for me, and every time a property that fits this criteria, it's going to send it to me right away. Now, let's say I go, well, I wonder if there was anything in that area that would flip. One way to back test it is go pending and backup offers, and see there's 13 here. Let's go ahead and look at the results. And of the results, let me just make my life just a little easier. I'm going to go ahead and sort this by price. And let me take a look at the first one. And this one's asking $299. And again, I'm just doing a quick check to see if this is a possible candidate property. And an asking price of $299. And I can see that $311. No, I wouldn't really have considered that as a candidate property. Of course, I could do more research. This one original price is $185. This is typical that you'll see in short sales. You can see there's a short sale here. And so at $185, a good bait price. In fact, if you look at the history, you'll see that is $185. And it went into pending, so that one day, and then later on it got to $320. And let's see some of the reasoning for that. And usually what happens is the bank says, no, that's too low, and they use this bait price to get things started. Some typical good signs, again, that I like to see is that, if they're not marketing it well, like low information, the agent's not doing a lot, or like one property picture, not a lot of descriptions there, that's usually a good sign for me that it's a possible candidate flip. But anyway, I'm going to confirm just through property value. Again, this is just a reference. We talked about this in a lot more detail. So 438, so 230, I'm sorry, I keep bunching up my numbers, 320. And it says, okay, that could be a possible candidate, so that's one. Again, we're just back testing. We're going backwards and seeing recent pending and sold. Here's one at 345, 166. So this is already telling me maybe it's not one, but I'm going to go ahead and look at the information here. And I see it's at 389, 345, maybe, depending how much work that needed to be done into this. Probably just a good deal. Here's one, 119, a short sale, 389, and I click here. And you get the idea. You can kind of figure out that, is it working for me or not? So 480. So maybe one out of the four that we've clicked on so far, but it gives you an idea. Okay, I'm going to be able to find the one that pops up. Let's try one more. So I'm going to go ahead and let's say I'll pick I don't know, Norwalk. Let's say Norwalk. So I'll go to Norwalk. I go back into my search and I'm going to clear it. I'm going to look for active single family Norwalk. And the price point that I'm going to go for is $360. So I'm going to go, I'll type it this way this time, $360. I'm going to scroll down to the price per square foot. And the price per square foot for Norwalk would be $253. So I'll type it the other way, 253 minus. And I have one property match. I'm going to say results. The very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to save this. And so again, you have action, refine, save, click on the save, and you have this new auto email. And it's literally this fast. So I hit new auto email. I select the contact should be me. I'm going to type flip Norwalk. You can put any message here to remind you what maybe the search parameters were. I like to put scheduled as soon as possible. And I'll click save here. And now any property that comes up in Norwalk that's a candidate property, a possibility, it's going to tell me right away. So in this case, this was on the market for 41 days. It's in foreclosure. They're asking $310, so I click on this. And I come back and see, okay, 306. This is probably something I wouldn't have considered. Again, I could do more of my due diligence to figure out if this is a really good property or not. In any case, I have my searches already saved for me. So now that I have the searches saved, I'm going to go ahead and see what it looks like when you're managing the searches. So I come back here, and what you're going to have is you're going to have daily emails of things that will pop up, for example, be like this. So on Riverside. And I already cleared out my search, but if I click on this, I'm going to get this portal. And the portal will say, oh, here's a property to consider. So I said, okay, I want to look at this property. Okay, so from here, I can go ahead and look up the MLS, and here's the same property. I'm going to click on it. And this is something that Was at 210, been on the market for 10 days. They reduced it to 150. It's a standard sale. And just do a quick check here, I'll see that, oh, it's 225. And so, there might be enough room for me to consider to do more due diligence. And then, again, we've learned how to do this already. So I might consider this as a candidate property, do a little more due diligence and say, okay, it's a candidate property, and then I'm really going to do the homework behind that. So that's real time. It's giving me access to information on properties that are happening at that moment. So in this case, why it was flagged, there was a price reduction and has been in the market for 10 days. So if you look at the history, you can see that it's 210, and then they reduced it to 150, and so good. It got flagged. I was notified. Some other things that I found helpful in managing all this, your list will start to get a little difficult to manage, and so if I like it, I just like to put a heart here and say I'm interested in that property. If I don't like it, I just discard it by clicking on this trash can. It's a little harder to find here. It's in the top right hand section here, and so you can find the same things if you're panning through on the more detailed view, and you can delete it or heart it in this section. What I find helpful in managing this is jumping to the welcome screen, and in this auto searches, I just click on show more, and I'll even look at everything, and anything that's bolded generally will tell me that, oh, you have something that you may not have looked at recently. So I'll go to Long Beach, and I say, oh, okay, here's a property, and what I should be able to do is just highlight this, copy it. I did the Control-C, and I'm going to paste it here, and from here, it's going to give me the property. It's on Canton. I'm going to click on this link, and so in a matter of seconds, that I'm going through things and it's updating me in real time. So it's been on the market for 6 days, and they're asking 359. So I'm just going to quick cross-reference to see if 359 works for me. No, it doesn't. And that disparity could raise some interesting questions to say, well, let me look into it more. Seeing fully remodeled, probably would already rule it out for me as I look at this property. Not much more value that I could add to this, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on this property. But and again, to manage it, I come back here and say delete. But this will give you at least a method on managing properties that come on the market or are price reduced or come back on the market as active status, is that you will be notified immediately and can take quick action to secure the purchase of the transaction. Okay, so I hope that helps you. I'll be covering that in tomorrow's training, and if you have any questions, either message me or see me later. Take care.